jackpot this time.
I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. These niggas doubted me, but I won't give up on myself. This me in the trap, I don't need no one else. Ain't nobody slide when I cried out for help. They could care less about the way that I felt. Told you my heart is cold, it's the pain that'll melt. I'm trying to reshuffle the hand I was dealt. How you shoot for the stars and then land in a cell. My nigga moms down while he canned in the jail. He had to find out that shit in the mail. The judge is a bitch, she won't hand him a bail. I know he a G, he gon' handle it well. He could've gave up some info on me and got out, but he's solid, he still wouldn't tell. I made him a promise that I wouldn't fail and get up no matter how hard that I fail. Some niggas despise as I rise to the top. Mixed feelings inside when I ride for the block. Are they really hoping I make it or they really faking and plotting on taking my guap? Stealing my style, they try taking my spot. Raising the stakes, I'm trying to raise up the stock. This game is my bitch, yeah, I got that on lock. But I had to leave, it be getting too hot. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices.
The only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it.
I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate.
I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did.
I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta
connect in your future. You have to trust in
God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta
connect down the road.
I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. These niggas doubted me, but I won't give up on myself. It's me in the trap, I don't need no one else. Ain't nobody slide when I cried out for help. They could care less about the way that I felt. Told you my heart is cold, it's the pain that'll melt. I'm trying to reshuffle the hand I was dealt. How you shoot for the stars and then land in a cell. My nigga moms down while he canned in the jail. He had to find out that shit in the mail. The judge is a bitch, she won't hand him a bail. I know he a G, he gon' handle it well. He could've gave up some info on me and got out, but he's solid, he still wouldn't tell. I made him a
Kunle Joe Komolafe, KJK as he is fondly called, is the lead strategist of the KJK Development Systems, a leadership, strategy development, and peak performance consulting organization. He is also the founder of the Center for Real Impact International, a non-government organization that bridges the gap between the dreams and its realization of her audience. A distinguished, multidimensional and seasoned speaker, leadership and peak performance strategist who has over 20 years built relevance from a humble beginning. He places premium on the art of development and mastery and strongly believes that anyone, any organization or nation can become her dream if key skills are fostered. His passion for human capital advancement and as a resourceful speaker in diverse areas of human needs and cogent matters has given him several opportunities to take keynote sessions, speak, and facilitate programs at various platforms, conferences, organizations, cities, and groups. He is currently an author of 4 dynamic life-transforming books. KJK is a cybersecurity enthusiast, avid reader, and prolific writer.
With a resounding applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome to Elevate 2025, Kunle Joe.
Awesome. Wow, so good to be back again, guys. How we all doing? Awesome, awesome. Please, you want to use the chat to communicate with us. We want to know how you are doing today. Whoa, it's the fifth edition, fifth episode, if I would call it that. For those of us who are used to watching series, right, movie series, this is the fifth episode of seven, right? So today I will be speaking. I said last week that we want to, take it down a little bit, take a break from having our guest speakers come around, and then let's have some conversation. And afterwards, next week, we will start again. We have a guest speaker coming next week. And then the last Saturday, which will be the 22nd of February, we will have a guest speaker come speak alongside myself. But before we dive deep into the session for today, I have a very good friend of ours. He is the uh, country director for the Center for Real Impact, Chris Oge. Chris Oge has been doing tremendously at the Nigeria platform. I'm sure you guys know that. If you look at the logo that we have on the screen, you have the KJK development system, and then we have the Center for Real Impact collaborating with us. So today I have Chris with us, and I will give Chris a few minutes to say hi. You all know, for those who don't know, I want to say to us today that the Center for Real Impact is our baby. Center for Real Impact is 20 years old. Last year, we celebrated 20 years of existence, an organization that I have been privileged to be the founder, and we've had great minds cut across different spheres of influence, doing great things all over the world. Folks that I now call my friends, prodigies that are now like brothers and sisters. you know, in Nigeria, we have currently four platforms or five, I can't remember precisely, but then, under the leadership of Chris, we are intending to extend our platform to other cities. So if you are in the city of Kano, the Center for Real Impact is about to launch. If you are in the city of Port Harcourt, the Center for Real Impact is coming to you. But in the meantime, I will shut up and let Chris say a word or two for 3 minutes, and then I'll take it off from here, so we can talk about Elevate 2025. Over to you, Chris. So I'm sorry about that. We're kind of having some media challenges today. So right on the screen, you have Chris. Chris, as you can see, his face is the country director for the Center for Real Impact, but we're having challenges to getting him on mute. So very quickly, I will get started, and then I will get Chris later on when I'm about to wrap up. Hopefully, media would be able to resolve that challenge that we are having with Chris. So today, I want to talk about the strategy for maximizing your impact and high performance. High performance could also be called or be known as peak performance, and that's what we want to talk about today. Every organization, every system, every nation, every community is looking for a man or a woman who would help them perform at their peak. I have folks that work with us at the KJK development system. We have folks that work with us at the Center for Real Impact, and all that we expect from them is peak performance. I have been privileged to consult with organizations in the United States of America and a few as well in Nigeria, and all they want when we get an interview, we get to have chats, is who can deliver, who will come and perform at his or her peak and take us from point A to point B. As a project manager and a senior business analyst, there is what we call as is states in the business analyst field, and then we have what we call the to be states. Now, as is states is where the organization or the system that we want to build is currently at, and then we have what we call the to be state, is that state where they expect or where they want to be at the end of a particular system life cycle. Now, between the as is and to be is where the work is. Gap analysis, requirement gathering, and all kinds take place between that. Now, in between that, especially when we do what we call requirement gathering, there are things that when you're talking to stakeholders, that they just talk to you about things that they want to see, changes they want to see in the system, and such we call requirements, right? And of those requirements, there are also what is called wishes, right? And all you do is listen and ask questions, gather those requirements, and then you have what we now call sprints. I can't go into all the details here on the call because I'm not training on business analysis. But then I said that to say that that principle is also applicable to our lives. That principle is also applicable to our journey. For every strong structure standing over the years is a very solid master plan. For every solid structure, I don't know if any of us have seen this movie 24 or Prison Break. Let's talk about Prison Break a little bit. I've seen that movie like twice now. I love it. Okay, so but then you would see this guy. What's this guy's name again? The main actor. I can't remember. Can somebody remind me? What's the name of that guy? I can't remember the name. But then you would notice that on his body, he had tattooed the map of the prison and how he was going to escape, right? And then at some point, before he even had the map of the prison on his body tattooed, he had that master plan. He went to get the master plan of the building, which he had on the wall of his office, and then just mapping his escape route. If you remember that movie, uh, at some point, when the movie was going on, I think he had a bond, right? And a part of the structure that he had tattooed on his body got burnt, and that very little burn distorted the flow of his escape, right? That is how solid and how important master plans are. Right. And so today we want to talk about not just master plan, because I want to believe that a good number of the folks on the video call today, on this webinar today, has been following from the very first day. I spoke at length in the beginning, where I just laid a foundation about what Elevate 2025 is about. And I remember I talked about the power of solitary. I talked about the place of you being with yourself, the place of completeness, the place of isolating yourself from the noise, the place of isolating yourself from the crowd. That's where you can own your journey. That's where you can own your process. And I want to believe that a lot of us have gone back to watch that video over and over and over again. So today I will be taking up, I'll be building up from here and trying as much as possible to help us, help ourselves navigate through this process all over again. So let's dive in. I want to appreciate all our speakers who have been helpful all through this journey from the very beginning when we started. Ibrahim, awesome. Thank you a lot for all that you did on the day that we had you come speak. I also want to appreciate my very good friend and brother Tayo Ashley. And then afterwards, we had Linda. Last week, Linda came to speak on the health issue. We've got several feedbacks about that, and I am excited. I'm excited about all that Linda shared. All our speakers have been great. They have been great. And I want to encourage everyone to go back and watch, go back and listen, take notes, and come up with action items that you would run with. Next week, we will be having a topic that everyone would be interested in, which we call maximizing artificial intelligence and machine learning for productivity in 2025. I'll talk about that a little bit afterwards. And then on the last day, we will have a session on selling and marketing mastery, winning strategies for personal and organizational goals, right, in 2025. So we're going to have someone come share with us on sales, selling, and mastery, marketing mastery. Okay, so please be close to us. Check your calendar, check our social media pages, and just be on the lookout for what is about to happen in the next 2 weeks as we wrap up Elevate 2025. All right. I'll start with a story. So it's a story of a fish. Just follow me closely and let's see how we cover this today. So there was once 3 fish that lived along the riverbank. You know, fish, they were by the riverbank. The first name of the first fish named Plan Ahead. Just follow closely. If you're taking notes, just take notes. It's called Plan Ahead. That fish called itself Plan Ahead. The second fish is Think Fast. And then the third fish is Go with the Flow. The first fish, Plan Ahead. The second, Think Fast. The third, Go with the Flow. You get it? Just follow me closely. So one day, Plan Ahead overheard a fisherman by the bank saying that he would be casting his nets in the river to catch some fish the next day. So let's, look at it. On a Monday, the fisherman came to the riverbank and said to his folks that tomorrow we will come do some fishing so we can get some fish, right? And then the plan ahead overheard that conversation. So he immediately went and informed the other fishes. Remember the name, right? Plan ahead, think fast, go with the flow. So plan ahead when we inform, think fast, and go with the flow. You guys should be aware that tomorrow there's this man that would come with his net. He wants to catch some fish, right? So the next day came. The two fishes got themselves having conversations. They swam away down the river. And then Think Fast said that's a rumor, that's a lie, it can happen, and if it does happen, I'm sure I would think of something when the time comes. I would think of something to do when the man cast his net into the river. That's what Think Fast said, right? And then Go with the Flow shook his head and said, I don't know what this is about, right? I'll just enjoy my life, and I believe that everything will work out well at the end of the day. If he comes to cast his net, fine. If he doesn't come to do that, that's fine. Remember, 3 fishes. Don't forget their names. So the next day came, and just as Plan Ahead had cautioned them, can you all hear me though? Let me check my volume. Okay, good. So the next day came, and just as Plan Ahead had cautioned them, the fisherman made his way to the river, and then boom, he casted his net. He found 2 fat, healthy looking fish by the river. He caught them, right? Because they were right there. But then Think Fast. Remember, Think Fast and Go with the Flow were the ones that was caught, because Plan Ahead knew. He heard the conversation and he had gone far from the riverbank. But then Think Fast and Go with the Flow had their plans. They just believed it was a rumor, but whichever way. But then in a matter of few seconds, Think Fast was able to roll over and pretend. He was able to roll over and pretend as though he was dead. So the fisherman, seeing that, okay, this looks dead, I can't eat a dead fish, picked that one and threw it back into the river. Think fast. Think ahead. Plan Ahead had gone before it happened. Don't forget, follow closely. Think Fast and Go with the Flow was the one that the fisherman caught, because they were just like, you know what? We have a plan, right? We know what we're going to do. So the fisherman threw Think Fast, right, into the river. And then he was left with what? Go with the Flow. I'm sure you all know what happened with Go with the Flow. Unfortunately, Go with the Flow ended up in the fisherman's plate of grilled fish for dinner, right? So, on this call today, we can categorize ourselves in these 3 places. You are either Plan Ahead, you are either Think Fast, or Go with the Flow. As you listen to me, you want to ask yourself today that, where do I fall? In what category do I fall? Guys, it's still the 8th of February. A lot of things can still be adjusted. A lot of things can still be thrown out. A lot of things can still be introduced in. Don't let anyone box you into saying that the year has started, there's nothing more you can do, just let's see how we're going to rough it through. No, you will not rough it through. But then you fall into one of these categories. Plan ahead, left. Think fast was caught, but then he was able to wiggle his way, kind of out of the net, out of the hand of the fisherman. But then go with the flow, ended up in the plate of grilled fish. Where do you fall? In what category do you fall? How many times in life have you waited for opportunities to fall on your lap, believing in luck? While there is some truth to going with the flow and allowing life to unfold naturally, the only way to reach your next level in 2025, the only way to get your plans achieved, your goals achieved in 2025 is to do something. Is to do something. And believe me, I am privileged to have conversations every day with a lot of people. You know, one of the things I said to myself sometimes last year is that I will not give unsolicited counsels anymore. In fact, in the KJK development system, the leadership is building around me such that when people say, I want to ask you a question, the first thing I do is send you a link. Let's follow the process. Make some payments before you hear me cough. You know, because we've done that for 20 years. Now it's time to switch. That's the system they're building now. Because I have found out that a lot of people, though it looks like they are running towards something or running away from something, they most often fall into the category of going with the flow. Going with the flow. They are the what's gonna be folks. The family we came out of, the friends that we have kept over the years, the school that we have attended, the community we grew up in, the state, the city, the country that we grew up in has so much positioned us, has so much recreated our minds to go with the flow. And that's not where you want to be in 2025. You may have seen a few stories here and there about entrepreneurs that seem like overnight successes. The simplicity of their business model. Lately, I've been doing a lot of reading in that regard. The simplicity of their business model has caused many people to believe that starting a company, running a business is easy peasy. But that's not the truth. Or rather, I'll put it this way, that's not the total truth. You know, they assume that within a yeast few years, I call it yeast few years, intentionally, because we all know the power of a yeast, right? When you want to bake your dough, you put some yeast in it, bread, your puff, and all of those snacks that just comes up like instantly over time. You know, they assume within a yeast few years, they can also become successful. They can also become millionaires, multi-millionaires, and all of that. But sadly, friends, this assumption is false. It is false. There is no such thing as overnight success. No such thing as overnight millionaire. No such thing as overnight multi-millionaire. I know we've said it jokingly, about a few countries that, you can sleep with $10 or 10 naira, 10 pounds, and then you wake up the next morning with 10 million, 10,000 dollars, 10 million, naira, 10,000 pounds, and all of that. But then you find out that most of such people, you hardly hear about them, because without a good foundation, such wealth don't last. It doesn't turn into generational wealth. So there's no such thing as overnight success. There's no such thing as shortcuts to becoming a success, friends. We need to understand that. And I want to lay the foundation as we talk about a strategy for maximizing your impact. And all I'll do today is just scratch the surface. But I believe wherever you find yourself in the journey of success, on the ladder to greatness, either you are still just about to start, or you are somewhere in the middle, or you are up there, recently I've been taking time to watch YouTube videos of multimillionaires and billionaires, and all I see, in different countries, precisely in America, in Africa, and then in Europe. I just had a list of about 15 of them, and then I'm trying to read everything they've ever written. I'm trying to watch everything they've ever said, just to understand a few things. And I have my notepad on the table here every day when I have the opportunity. 20 minutes there, 10 minutes here, 30 minutes there, just coming up with action items, because I know that if I can emulate their daily habits, their weekly habits, their monthly habits, their annual habits, sometime, somewhere in the nearest future, I will not just find myself there. I'll probably do much more better, because I'm not coming with zero. I'm coming with more. Do you understand? And one of the things I have found out is that at their level, they still want more. At their level, they still want more. If you listen to the Tesla guy, you would find out that at his level, he still wants more. I was listening to Dangote some few months ago when he was having issues with the refinery and all of that. I see that passion. I see in his face that hunger, that drive for more at his level. And then I watch folks at some other level. You haven't even started the journey. And with so much laxity, so much, throw yourself down, so much of, that attitude, that disposition. That's not good. That's not where you want to find yourself in 2025. So, one of the things I also discovered is that success is predictable. Believe me, guys, success is very predictable than you might even think. Just basic things, very basic things. And that's what we've been hearing every webinar series that we've been a part of. That's what I've been saying for over 20 years, friends. It's just basic things, the result of careful planning and relentless hard work. Careful planning and relentless hard work. If you have these two things, of course, there are others like integrity, consistency, dedication, honesty, loyalty. All these ingredients makes for the soup that we call success. But beyond that, careful planning, relentless hard work. For every strong structure that you see standing, I've had the privilege of being to the UK a few times, London, Newcastle, Leeds, Bradford, and then I see structures and I hear 1918, 1865, and I'm like, This building came up at 1890 something, 1860 something, and it's still standing this strong. It's born out of careful planning. Friends, that is the master plan we are talking about today. Intentional about every detail of your life. Intentional about every detail of your business. Intentional about every detail of your profession. I have a great friend of mine. She probably might be watching. And one of the things that, we're having a conversation last week, and then she mentioned someone who reached out, just called the woman's name. I Googled it. I picked up the profile of this woman, and I dissected it on Friday. I'm sure she'll be so surprised. Dissected the profile of this woman on Friday, and I came up, she had about 3 pages profile, but I came up with 5 bullet points from that profile, that if my friend can follow this path, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, she will not only be this woman in the next 5 years to 10, she would surpass this woman. Then the first thing we want to do is to, first of all, do this woman, the greater woman, that woman, a letter asking for some level of access. And then in that letter, we're going to put a box of gifts, strategic gift, because we want to have access to her invisible world. Remember when I spoke the first time? Now, this is a build-up to what I said. Because we want to access her invisible world, we already have these action items, but then to do that, let's water the ground, as they say. There's an African adage that says that he who knows how to wash his hand or her hand will eat with elders. I'll repeat that. He or she who knows how to wash his hands or her hands well will eat with elders. I've been privileged to sit with elders all my life. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I never knew how an airplane looked like until when I was almost done with college, the university. And the privilege was even offered to me by, it was just a rare privilege to have the first I ever did. Today, I don't just do the flying. I've done several of it. Why? Because of certain understanding, careful planning, orchestrated from deep within, orchestrated from the invisible, because everything you see in the visible is being controlled from the invisible. I cannot overemphasize this. And if I have any session anywhere in the world this year and I don't talk about this, then I am missing a very important point. I'll be in the UK, I'll be in Leeds in April with my good friend Abraham Ibrahim and a few other speakers at the UK summit, and putting together my notes here and there. I already know that this is also coming to play. It's also coming to play. Anyway, that's by the way. So then we'll talk to my friend about it in some few days from now when the environment warrants us to have that conversation, and then we'll go. And this woman we're talking about is on the board of lots of banks globally. All right, so let me come back. Okay, so if we will maximize our impact and high performance in 2025, there are a few things that I want to touch today, I want to talk about today, and I need you to please follow closely. There are things that you may have known, but you don't take them important. You take them important, but I just want to remind you. right? And out of the many, I'll talk about just three of them today. The first is calendar. Calendar. Your calendar. You know calendar? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Then you have January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, like that to 31st. You have February to 28th. You have March, and all of that. Now, in those days, you also have 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., right? And in those 1 a.m., you also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. So from the calendar, you have months. From the months, you have weeks. From the weeks, you have days. From the days, then you have hours. Now we move from calendar to time. From the hours, you now have minutes. From the minutes, you have seconds. Are you following closely? So let's start from the bigger picture, the calendar. Mastering the use and value of your calendar cannot be overestimated. If you are going to have a detailed master plan for 2025, in your career, in your finances, in your relationship, in your going out, coming in, turning on your computers, and all of that, mastering the use and value of your calendar cannot be overemphasized. In those calendar, or in your calendar, is time. Because time finds its expression with the calendar. Am I right? So, calendar can be full of arbitrary numbers that only becomes valuable when you consider that your life is established within it. Does that make sense? Our lives is established within the calendar year. I'll explain it, because I know some of our spiritual, oh no, my life is not a calendar, my life is in the hand of God. I know, I understand all of that. I understand. And I'll break it down. You'll understand what I'm trying to say now. Calendar can be full of arbitrary numbers, like I said earlier, 1st of January, 2nd of February, 3rd of February, 4th of February, and all of that. It's full of arbitrary numbers that can only become valuable when you consider that your life is established within it. So beyond sending me a happy new month, you are speaking to life, you are speaking to destiny, you are speaking to every fiber of a human. As soon as we move into the 9th of February, there can never be an 8th February 2025 anymore in your life. Do you understand that? I'll break it down a little bit. And to let you know that our life is established within it. So, we're doing a walk on okay, I'll not go there. Let's not go there. Have you been to the grave site before? I had the privilege of living in the village for a while back in Africa. For those of us who are not there, in some cultures of Africa, you don't have to bury your loved ones in the graveyard, right? You can actually do the burying either behind your house or at the front of your house, right? Like we did for my grandmom many years ago. We buried her right in the front of her house, right? And she was the one I lived with in the village at that time. And one of the things, if you have ever lost anyone, may their soul rest in peace. And I'm sure that wherever they are, they are going to be proud of you, not just for listening to this webinar today, but because of how your life is going to turn out after now, or how it has been thus far and how it's going to be greater, So you would find out that on the thumb they would write the year, right? 1954. That was the year my dad was born. 1954 to 2000. I think he passed in 2000 or 2001. Yeah, 2000 and 2001. So we have from this year to this year. Why do they put that there? So if you look at it closely, you would find out that at the end of the day, all that matter is what you have done between this year that you were born and this year that you go. The epitaph always reads in calendar year, sweetheart. The epitaph always reads in calendar years. So every time you pick your phone and you spend 2 hours chatting away, it's 2 hours of that calendar year. The power of the calendar. For instance, 9 months is just a time frame, right? As many of us would, 9 months. 9 months, just two words, 9 and month. It sounds very easy. 9 months, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all. But then you will know the value of 9 months when you recognize that it took 9 months to form you in your mother's belly. The pain that she had to go through. Some of them had to go through operations. Some of them had to, if you listen to their story, how you had to make them bleed for days to conceive you, to have you born. But then it's just 9 months, right? What is the significance of 12 months, friends? Some people will say, is it not just a representation of a year? No, I agree with you. It takes 12 months to make a year. Yeah, it is. But imagine or consider how many goals you can achieve in 12 months. What you can achieve if you took 9 months from something that looks, watery, kind of, to a grown-up me today. I even have white beards now. Just imagine the journey. The little things that we take for granted, that we commonize. It's easy to spend 12 hours in the club. It's easy to spend 10 hours watching a movie series. I'm not saying all of this is not good. I'm just saying that begin to understand the value of your calendar. Excuse me, of your time in this calendar. If you are going to maximize your impact in 2025, if you will be a high performer, interestingly, I had the privilege of some of us saw it. That's why I said, the eyes that see are many. How did they put it? And the one that look is a few. The eyes that see are many, but the one that look or see, whichever one, you understand what I'm trying to say? There are few. Can you all see me? What's going on? Media? I cannot see myself. Can you all hear me though? Awesome. If you can see me, great, great. Thank you. I guess you all can see me. So imagine or consider how many goals you can achieve in 12 months. You can learn a new language in 12 months. I remember my friend sometimes sent me this app, that interprets or that teaches languages. So I can't remember what language you were trying to learn the other time. And then recently I had the opportunity to watch the CEO make a presentation online about the app and what the app does. Amazing. Media, you need to help me because I cannot see myself, but you guys can see me, and that's not good for me. So you need to help me out here. Whatever is wrong. But if you all can see me and you say I'm okay, then that's fine. But I cannot see myself. Can you all see me though? Yeah, I don't like this. All right, cool. Now I think I can. Awesome. Thank you. Great. Media, can you let me know? Am I good now? Am I good now, please? Awesome. Thank you. Great. So I was talking about the calendar year. I said you can learn a new language in 12 months. You can reach a fitness goal in 12 months. I have one set for myself already for this year, 2025. You can start a new business this year. You can scale a new business. That's what I'm currently doing to 2 businesses. So this year, we're starting 2 businesses, right? Starting one business, was scaling one that has been dormant for a while. That's what I'm building personally. Starting one, scaling one. I just spoke earlier about the Center for Real Impact, how we want to open up ourselves to new expressions in Africa, new expressions across the globe that we would achieve within the calendar year. You can start a new skill this year. You can go learn how to do stuff this year. You can learn how to become a business analyst. You can learn how to become a cybersecurity expert. You can learn how to new skills this year. Excuse me. This year, you can replace a bad habit with a healthy one. You can get certifications. You can go back to school this year. You can redefine your path this year. Your career path, you can redefine it this year. You've been around a particular career for so long and you want to have a career switch, it can happen this year. A lot of things can happen in 2025. All you need to do is to sit down and build for yourself a master plan. Again, I want to emphasize, every solid building you see across the world had a master plan that stands out. The architectural plan. So they have the electricity, they have there's the HVAC for those of us in the US, they have, all kinds, the piping, the water system, all built into the master plan. So let's talk about this a little bit. That in the calendar year, in the calendar year, you have the time, right? So What makes the time in the calendar year valuable? What brings us to that place of maximum impact and high performance within this calendar year is decisions. It's decisions. Some 26 years ago, I stumbled on a material by Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory, where he talked about, there was a statement he made. I know we all have heard, it's become a common statement everywhere, but then it wasn't common. And I want to tell us today, guys, that the things that are common are not as common as we think. Like someone would always say that common sense is not common. It's not common. He said then in that material, and I kept repeating it to myself that year, back to back. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I put it on my wall in my room in the city of Kano many years ago, that decision determines destiny. So I wrote it there that my decisions will determine my destiny. As challenging as it was for us back then, every decision that you make, either good or bad, makes up for your calendar year. It makes up for your 1981 to blah, blah, blah. You see that hyphen in between those 2 years? That's where the power is. That's your destiny. Every decision that you make can either be a good or bad use of your calendar year. In 2025, sweetheart, every decision that you make can either be a good or a bad use of your calendar year. And listen, guys, and I'm going to speed up now because I have just about 25 minutes more. And I'm going to talk about 2 other things. But I want to dwell on this more. If you get this from this webinar, you can go back and spend time with yourself and begin to rethink, re-strategize, and build a master plan for yourself in 2025. Unfortunately, I'm not here to build any master plan for anybody. It's your building, it's your life, it's your destiny, it's your career, it's your profession, it's your business, it's your family, it's your relationship. You got to build it. All I can do is to point you to the raw materials that you can use to build it. And that's what we've been doing all through this webinar. You know, what often motivates us to make decisions is the promise of either a short or a long-term gratification. That's what motivates decisions. Every decision you have made thus far is a promise of either a short or a long-term gratification. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about the feeling you get after a few puffs of a cigarette, for example. Regardless of the fact that it's been written on it that something users of this tend to die young. I can't remember what they used to write on that box of cigarette anymore. And yes, I've had it before, many years ago. I have. I'm sorry, it's going to shock a lot of people. Yeah, I have. I've been there. Many, many years ago. It was London that time. London. You know, as though when I puff the London, it's going to just catapult me to London. You know, or how excited you feel after you swipe your card or you make that transfer to buy that shoe, to buy that dress, to buy that car, to buy that house, to whatever it is, to make that purchase. There's this excitement you feel when you buy those stuff. It's either short or long-term gratification. Everything you have heard in this webinar, and you will hear in the last 2 coming, everything you've heard in all the YouTube videos, webinars, seminars, conferences, your religious platforms that you hear is all towards a promise of these two things: short or long-term gratification. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. So, even though bad decisions are a poor use of time, people are motivated to make them regardless. People are motivated to make those decisions. Now, it's a totally different conversation talking about what is bad and what is good. Let's not go there. As a disruptor, I can sit down with that for the next 30 minutes. Because bad may not be as bad as we think, good may not be as good as we think. The definition of bad and good and evil, let's not go there. But all I know in summary, that the definition of bad and the definition of good is in the heart of every man. Somewhere. It's always there. I know you swiped the card to buy that shoe and then your account is red because you want to prove a point to yourself or to people. Are we together today? Yeah, I know I'm hitting on some very important things because I want you to be successful in 2025. I want that career to become successful. I want that profession that you have desired over the years to become a realistic one this year. So, what I want us to, excuse me, please. What I need us to know about human beings, about ourselves, about myself, yourself, is that we are wired to avoid pain and run towards pleasure every time. Every time I meet with people, every time I have conversations with people, you can feel it in between the conversations that they are running away from pain and they want to run towards pleasure. I mean, you know how easy it is to get to see a 2-hour movie than to read a book for 2 hours. Do you understand? It's pleasurable. You know how easy it is to eat all kinds of food than to fast intermittently. Oh, talk to me about intermittent fasting. I've been doing that since January. It's not easy, especially when you work from home like I do, and then you're perceiving some kind of, matters. Success, friends, is predictable. Failure is also predictable. And let's look at a few things. Investing in skill development versus seeking entertainment and distraction. I just talked about that. 2 hours watching a movie or 2 hours reading a book. Which one is more pleasurable? Saving from your earnings and impulse spending. Which one is more? Good decision, bad decision. You decide. Prioritizing your health, avoiding, like they taught us last week, sugar and all of those things, or indulging in unhealthy habits, unhealthy eating. Do you want to talk about building strong and meaningful relationships versus engaging in superficial interactions that just excite? Some of us are just all about validation. You cannot stand being corrected. You cannot stand being advised. You cannot stand being chastised. Superficial interactions. Maximizing impact and high performance. Just giving you the raw materials to build with. Reading and learning daily versus scrolling through social media mindlessly. Practicing discipline. Oh, let's not even talk about discipline. Practicing discipline and consistency versus procrastinating. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. I'll do it next year. Making excuses for yourself. If excuses were bricks, a lot of people would have built a nation. I'm not even going to say a community. The way we make them, you would have built an estate. Creating valuable content or just consuming low value. And I'm not talking about content as in celebrity content now. The things you post, the things you share, very meaningless. Why? Just to excite yourself. Just to excite ourselves at this level. Come on, friends. See, the path to success is boring. It can be boring. Let's not go there today. Staying committed to personal and professional growth, or just chasing temporary comfort and trying to avoid discomfort. Show me a man who has built success, and I will show you a man who have consistently discomforted himself. I was talking about a man that greatly celebrated all over the world, one of the wealthiest. And he had an event celebrating his birthday, some few months ago. And while people were watching all the celebrations, I was watching his action. I was watching the things that he was doing and all of that. And I found out that the man does not even have an Android phone or an iPhone. He was using a phone that cannot be connected to the internet. That was what he was holding in his hand. So every news he gets, probably he has someone that just tells him this is what's happening there, this is what's happening there. He doesn't have a phone that has all of that. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying that is how discomforting a lot of these folks had to put themselves in to become great and successful, to make impact, to become high performance. One man had an event yesterday using the biggest stadium in Nigeria, and everyone was full to the brim. And you call that luck? I heard about how his eating habit is not as wealthy, as impactful, as influential as he is. I had the privilege of, hosting another sometimes few months ago, and he was talking to me about how he stays strictly on water for 3 days, eats the 4th day, go another 3 days on water, and then eat. He's had to come, to Maryland twice now, and then he would always tell me, give me a list of where his food comes from, grains, and then he'll tell me, get me a blender and 3 tomatoes. He's always very specific about everything. Get me 2 of this, 1 of that, 1 of this. That's how it is. 3 tomatoes, get me a blender, I blend my tomatoes. After every 3 days of taking water, I take tomatoes. And I'm like, are you a human being? With the kind of money you have? Do you understand, guys? Are you getting what I'm trying to say today? That becoming a high performer is not a walk in the park. Becoming an impactful person is not by living what's gonna be. That's why you need to go back to the story I said in the beginning. practicing gratitude and contentment with what you have where you are and growing to greatness, or constantly seeking external validation? You want to look like them, keeping up with the Joneses. You want to smell like them. You don't have no work, you don't have nothing, and then you are looking forward to using iPhone 16 Pro Max. Do you understand some of the things that the millennials and the Gen Zs are chasing after in our generation and our time? Crazy stuffs. Crazy stuffs. Prioritizing deep work and focus. Deep work and focus. Versus multitasking. So you have 5 things you are doing at the same time. None has gotten you to 100%. Easily distracted. Whew. Do you understand, friends? The 2025 master plan for success, for peak performance, is not a walk in the park. Research shows that the average individual can remain productive for 3 to 4 hours. So look for that 3 to 4 hours every day where you have that me time, and watch how your life will transform radically this year at whatever level you are. You know, I've had people tell me there's no time. I don't have time. Busy schedule. Busy. I'm crazily busy. And there will not be a free time. If you're looking for a free time, there will not be one. So what we do is that we find time in time. Because there will not be 24 hours a day. 25 hours a day. It will always be 24. There will always be something to be done. So you find time in no time. In this year, 2025, the year of success and elevation, you have to make time adjustments. Cut time from time to accommodate time. Do you understand? Cut time from time to accommodate your success in 2025. A poll was taken on the Real Platform page, and I see people say career, career, career. Now the question is this: that career you desire, that career you want, are you qualified for it? Do you have the certifications for it? That level you want to attain, how qualified are you for it? 3 to 4 hours a day. During these hours, your concentration is always at its peak. And you can enter what I call flow state. You know flow state? That state where you are fully immersed in an experience that you lose track of time. I'm always there. Shut down everything. So it's a flow time. Anyway, the second word or the second thing I want us to look at is clarity. The first is calendar. The second is clarity. As I wrap up, clarity. And I'm going to tell us a story about a young monk. You know, a monk like, Google it. Monk. You can call them brothers. You can call them people who go into solitude, right? Who go into hiding for weeks, for months, for years. They will not see the sun for many, many years. And then they come out, just Google it, check pictures of monks, you'll be shocked. So, and I'm talking about clarity. The first is calendar. The second is clarity. A young monk, he was an apprentice at a monastery. And he was going to be there for 12 months training, right? And he is required that every 4 months, he's permitted to say 2 words to the head of the monk, the director of the monastery, who is the head of the monk. 2 words every 4 months. So 4, 4, 4, that will be 2. So he has opportunity of doing that twice in a year. So after the first 4 months, the head of the monk approached him. I have 10 minutes. I'll be fast as possible. The head of the monk approached the apprentice, and then they asked him what the 2 words were for the first 4 months. And the apprentice said, floor, cold. That's all. Because he's only allowed to use 2 words, floor, cold. So the head of the monk, oh, okay, I see. Nice, floor, cold. So they made adjustments. Another 4 months of silence, no talking to anybody. That's what some of the things, it depends on the monastery. They have different rules, they have different regulations. So this is what is particular to this monastery. So after another 4 months, the head of the monk came to him where he was in the room, and they said, all right, now you have your 2 words for this month, for these 4 months. And then he said, food, disgusting. Oh, the head of the monk said, oh, I see, that's fine. Then finally, it was 12 months. It was over. So they brought him to the office where the head of the monk was, and they said it was time for the feedback after 12 months of your apprenticeship. What's your 2 words? And then the guy said, I quit. Oh. Now, this is it. If you are asked to summarize your 2025 master plan in 2 words, what would it be? Can you do that? Put it in the chat room. If you want to go think about it, go think about it. If you want us to have a session together, reach out. Let's have a session together. Clarity is critical to building a career. Clarity is critical to building a life. Clarity is critical to building a relationship. Clarity is critical to building your financial life. Clarity is critical to building your business. Clarity, clarity, clarity. Clarity. Clarity is the state. So I will personally define clarity as, for me, I'll say clarity is the state of total knowing. 2 words. Total knowing. See, guys, everywhere you find yourself, just ask yourself, can I do this? Can I say this in 2 words? Or at most, can I say it in a sentence? I'm always asked a few times by people who are close, can you even define your life in 1 sentence? Leaving people better than I met them. 7 words. That's me. That's how I live my life. Anyone who's had encounter with me and who chooses to leave, regardless of either we live peacefully or we live fighting, somewhere in your heart of hearts, you will know that this man left me better than he met me. Leaving people better than I met them. 7 words. Summarizing my life. And that's what I've been living with since I was 14 when I defined it. It's everywhere. I keep writing it every time on notepads, on papers, on my jotters, and I will sign there. Clarity is the state of being clear, understandable, free from confusion. And you want to apply that to different areas of your life. Mental clarity, emotional clarity, communication clarity, financial clarity, relationship clarity. Very important. Very important. Vision clarity. Very important. How much do you want to be worth at December 31st, 2025? I know some of you will say, I don't have anything yet to do. Yes, but define it. It is better it's defined than undefined. When it's defined, then running towards it becomes easy. Define your destination and begin to run towards it. Clarity means knowing what is true, what is important, what is necessary in a given moment. Clarity. Clarity of purpose, clarity of life. You want to be an accountant? Clarity. I don't have all the time anymore. I wanted to share with us how you can build towards clarity. And I wanted to share with us an illustration of clarity 1, clarity 2. In fact, clarity 2, you can copy it from me and rephrase it, revamp it, and it will help you. Just write it down, edit it, and paste it somewhere on your wall. But there's no time for that. Join the KJK, that group that we always advertise, and I said everyone to join. Join it. Very important. All right, so let's wrap it up here. Let's wrap it up here. If you don't find clarity about 2025, all you will keep saying, as it has always been, will be stories. It's what we call paralysis by analysis. In pidgin language, in Nigeria and some other African countries, I think Jamaica and all of that, we have pidgin cut across. In pidgin, I remember it was a musician, a global African musician, that said, you go explain, tire, no evidence. That's what lack of clarity causes. Stories. People who can clearly articulate what they want tend to outperform those who have a vague idea of what they want. Always, every time, check it, every time. People who can clearly articulate what they want tend to outperform those who have a vague idea of what they want. Just like ChatGPT or other AI tools, which we'll be talking about next week, Saturday, don't miss it. The better your prompt, the greater the result that it will come out with. So at the end of the day, you need to know how to prompt your AI tools, your machines. The better the prompt, the greater the outcome. Clarity. This year, it is clarity before action. Clarity before action. Career change, clarity before action. Relationship, clarity before action. Marriage, clarity before action. Love life, clarity before action. Finances, clarity before action. Business, clarity before action. The third point, and I'll wrap it up here, and I'm not going to build so much on this. I'm not going to build so much on this. Is courage. Somebody say courage. Type it there. Courage, courage, courage. Peak performers are courageous people. If you will ever amount to anything greater than your years before now, it will be courage. To maximize your calendar, you need courage. As you build, create clarity, courage. 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 Boldness to move. Boldness to move, friends. Very important. And someone said that courage is resistance to fear. Courage is mastery of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. So there will always be fear, but regardless of fear, you move. Regardless of fear, you move. Oftentimes, the first jump will always be challenging. The first move will always be challenging. The first day will always be challenging. But you have to stay in the path of courage. And courage is transmittable. The people you listen to, the people you have around you, courage is transmittable. Just maybe the reason why you haven't made that move, lack of courage. Maybe the reason why you have not asked that lady out, courage. Maybe the reason why you haven't sent out that resume is courage. Get a list of 10 people. A man I respect so much said that to me. Get a list of 10 people in your life doing, not, I wouldn't say in your life, in the world, doing what you want to do. And from this month of February, start sending them emails. Get their email, even if it is info at official email, every month, every week, every day, depending on how much bandwidth you have. Send them emails, check up on them. Don't ask for money. Mistake that a lot of people make. The first business meeting would always require courage. When an idea drops, it will be too big. You'll be afraid to make that move. Fear will always come, friends. The more the fear, that's a pointer that success is around the corner. Release that book. Release that song. Do that first skit. Knock on that door. Make that move. I had this story of this monkey, 4 of them locked up in a room, and then at every point in time, they open the door for one of the monkeys to come out, and then they bring it back in. And then the first time they brought the first monkey out, locked the door on that one, poured water on that one, cold water, that one ran back in. The second one, they allowed the second one to go. And then at the end of the day, they opened the door for all the monkeys to be free, and none of them wanted to go out. They all chose to go and hide in the corner of the room. Why? Because at every outing, they got knocked on the head. They ran back in. I'm from a continent where courage is downplayed. The force of courage. Having been privileged to travel to a few nations, I have seen that first world nations are built by courageous people, bold people, who don't even know as much as we know, but by the act of courage. By the act of courage. Anxiety will come, but against it, you move. And then quitting can be a step of courage. Don't let anybody tell you quitting is bad. That's why I said good or bad, evil or bad, is in your heart. Quitting can be a step of courage. Quitting that job for another. Leaving an abusive relationship, an abusive marriage can be a step of courage. Walking out of that time-bombed, destructive relationship, because we're in February. That's why I'm talking about relationship a little bit. Can be a bold step of courage. Leave that with all they know is the latest joint in town. You need to leave. Moving to a new city and quitting the one you currently are can be a step of courage. Success is giving 100% of your effort, your body, your mind, and your soul to a cause that is not easy. I'm emphasizing that it's not easy. That is not easy. Finally, I'll say this. Never view challenges as a disadvantage in 2025. Never view it as an obstacle, as a disadvantage to your success in 2025. Challenges will come, but as you move towards it, you would find out that most often it's a mirage. I'll end with the word from the former First Lady of America, Michelle Obama. She said that you should never view your challenges as disadvantage. Instead, it is important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming anxiety, adversity is actually one of your biggest advantage. Again, I emphasize, friends, that if you will live a first world life, if you will live a first world life, you have to be bold. You have to be courageous, because they will tell you no 1,000 times. On the 1,001st time, you might get a yes, but a lot of people walk away on the 999th time. That's where we make a lot of mistake. I want you to do us a favor tonight, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are. Grab this link today and share it across. Put it on your status for an hour, for a day. If this has been impactful in any way, if this has challenged you in any way, please do this for us. Pick this link, post it on your pages, and plead with your friends to listen. It will help them. Believe me. This, if you can accept it and soak it in, every other thing you will listen to this year will make sense. It will make meaning. And I hope with these few points of mine, I have been able to convince you and not confuse you that 2025 can be your best year ever if you can put this to action. If you can put this to action. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you and I honor you. Next week, we're going to be having another session. I don't know if the media have the flyers on maximizing artificial intelligence and machine learning for productivity in 2025. Thank you so much, guys. Our time is well spent. We're 3 minutes beyond our time today, but it was worth it. I want to believe that. Share the link. Let it go across. Yeah, that's the flyer right there. Maximizing artificial intelligence and machine learning for productivity in 2025. My very good friend, Andrew Thomas, is going to be on the screen with us next week, Saturday. All right, guys. I want to appreciate you for your time. If you have not downloaded the book, Awaken Your Day, please go ahead and download it. Share that link with your friends, your family, your loved ones. I want to let you guys know how far this book has gone, and that's why I'm checking my phone. This book has been downloaded, has been read in over 38 countries of the world. Don't be found wanted. It's been downloaded in the US, in Sweden, Canada, France, South Korea, Italy, Liberia, Germany, Belgium, Ukraine, Netherlands, 90 times, Indonesia, 88 times, Seychelles, Chile, Turkey, Austria, Hong Kong, Morocco, Argentina, Poland, Turkey, Bulgaria, Nigeria, Israel, Romania, Angola, Mauritius, Albania, 102 times. Nations I have not been to. If you are on this call and you have not downloaded that book, you want to do that. Every day you have one for each day, right? Download it, share the link with your friends, family, and loved ones. Tell them it's time to read. Don't send them the book, send them the link. because we want to track it. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you again next week. If you have questions, we have 2 more Saturdays to go. You can drop your questions via the email or on our Instagram handle at KJK Speaks or at Official Real Platform, and we're going to have a great time. Next week, Saturday, we would have Chris, because earlier today we could not have him on the screen, I guess due to the sound. Next week, Saturday, before we bring up our speaker, we'll have Chris and a few other persons share thoughts with us, and before we start on Saturday, next week, the 15th of February. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and bye for now.
Well, boys, we hit the jackpot this time.
I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. These niggas doubted me, but I won't give up on myself. This me in the trap, I don't need no one else. Ain't nobody slide when I cried out for help. They could care less about the way that I felt. Told you my heart is cold, it's the pain that'll melt. I'm trying to reshuffle the hand I was dealt. How you shoot for the stars and then land in a cell. My nigga moms down while he canned in the jail. He had to find out that shit in the mail. The judge is a bitch, she won't hand him a bail. I know he a G, he gon' handle it well. He could've gave up some info on me and got out, but he's solid, he still wouldn't tell. I made him a promise that I wouldn't fail and get up no matter how hard that I fail. Some niggas despise as I rise to the top. Mixed feelings inside when I ride for the block. Are they really hoping I make it or they really faking and plotting on taking my guap? Stealing my style, they try taking my spot. Raising the stakes, I'm trying to raise up the stock. This game is my bitch, yeah, I got that on lock. But I had to leave, it be getting too hot. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate, gotta elevate, I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate, I gotta elevate, I gotta elevate.
Well, boys, we hit the jackpot this time.
I gotta elevate.